Welcome, truth seekers, to an in-depth exploration that challenges what we know about one of history's most debated incidents. Picture a high-profile financier with connections to global leaders held in a secure facility, suddenly discovered deceased. Authorities claim self-inflicted harm. But imagine if recent 2026 disclosures indicate otherwise, perhaps a deliberate act to silence him. Indeed, newly unsealed government documents, expert analyses, and system irregularities are reshaping the story. We're examining vast archives released this year, highlighting discrepancies that suggest concealment. Prepare for an engaging journey over the next hour and a half as we dissect this enigma step by step, with compelling insights designed to hold your attention. Could influential individuals have intervened to safeguard their interests? Was there an unseen presence involved? And why does an official statement reference the event prematurely? If you're intrigued by hidden truths, like this video now and subscribe for more revealing content. Let's begin by examining who this individual was and why his passing remains controversial after 7 years. This person was more than a money manager. He orchestrated a network of elite associations, mingling with heads of state, royalty, and celebrities. Detained in 2019 on serious trafficking allegations, his Caribbean retreat became notorious as a gathering spot for the influential, where illicit activities were reportedly conducted. Prominent figures like former presidents and royals appeared in travel records and contact lists. His circle included innovators and business tycoons, all logged in documents. However, shortly before a potential court appearance where revelations might emerge, the end came. Authorities described it as self-harm via suspension in a New York detention center, a high-security site that housed other notable detainees without similar issues. Yet, staff records were inaccurate, monitoring equipment failed, and his roommate was relocated just prior. Doubters immediately questioned the account, sparking widespread memes about the official version. Surveys indicated a majority suspected alternative explanations. Advancing to 2026, legislation prompted the release of extensive materials, including visuals and communications. These provide unedited perspectives, described by media as exposing a broad intrigue. While digital fabrications circulate, we've verified key elements. Accounts from observers, re-evaluated examinations, and unusual footage elements, all featured here. Continue with us as we scrutinize the accepted narrative and its vulnerabilities under current insights. This transcends past events. It's a cautionary tale about authority. What if the demise was orchestrated to conceal information permanently? Now let's examine the circumstances surrounding the incident on August 10th, 2019, and why the standard explanation contains inconsistencies amplified by 2026 materials. Envision this. The individual, under close observation following an earlier event, was removed from that protocol shortly before. Legal representatives met him soon prior, noting positive demeanor and strategy discussions. Then, abruptly, discovered with a fabric ligature showing skeletal irregularities more typical in external interventions than self-actions. The local examiner concluded self-inflicted, yet independent specialist Dr. Michael Bodden, engaged by family, countered. Indications suggest external cause, stated publicly. Progressing to February 2026, disclosed agency summaries outline after-event oddities, markings not aligning with voluntary suspension, internal signs implying forced restriction. Notably, such skeletal features are uncommon in self cases for similar demographics, but frequent in assisted scenarios like compression. Network reports highlight a lost interval in facility recordings now addressed. Papers indicate a disruption obscured sequences, yet restored segments imply unapproved activity. Statements from others present mentioned unusual sounds that evening, overlooked as standard. Personnel found inattentive, engaging online rather than performing required inspections. One acknowledged altering entries afterward. However, 2026 disclosures delve further. An agency bulletin dated August 9th, predating the occurrence, describes the finding in past terms: error or planned outline. Publications assemble evidence: a brief appearance of color in pathways, possibly materials or attire. Family, in online discussions, pledges further reviews to affirm alternative theories. They've shared images depicting neck features with pronounced impressions, differing from expected and described methods. Specialists in recent publications concur, referencing fluid distributions mismatched to positioning. If voluntary, why eliminate records? Why hasten final arrangements? These inquiries drove early speculations, but now with abundant files, they're irrefutable. As broadcasters observe, the implications have prompted reevaluations. Remain engaged as we investigate how oversight lapses weren't coincidental, they appeared intentional. Exploring further into the technical aspects, the 2026 document releases reveal monitoring disruptions that indicate internal involvement, transforming the holding area into an unaccountable zone. The facility featured advanced surveillance, yet devices near the section failed that evening, attributed to malfunction. But 2026 government notes confess the setup was affected beforehand. Retrieved visuals, per media, display a colored form navigating toward the segregated area of solitary confinement. Analysts remark, it could involve transporting standard items. But during off hours? And why the chronological skip, omitting a key period now resolved as purposeful removal? Agency inquiries in revealed reports disclose staff disposed of reserves, citing routine procedures. Yet guidelines require retention for prominent cases. Narratives and documents from detainees describe an entrant in service. Clothing accessing the level, dismissed as upkeep. Families Group, applying 2026 enhanced digital reviews, asserts the form doesn't correspond to registered personnel, supporting ideas of unauthorized access. Recall, the companion was suddenly moved, leaving isolation. The oversight body's evaluation, disclosed this year, concedes significant oversights without broader implications. Still, correspondences among officials display concern. One states, secure the visuals, avoid public inconsistencies. Dr. Baden references examination images indicating resistance signs on extremities, implying conflict. And the early bulletin? It's documented, logged before the event, using completed phrasing. Chance? Or evidence of anticipation? As international outlets' visual summaries of the materials show, these irregularities link to high-level ties. Inquiries from associates occurred days earlier. Speculative platforms thrive with artificial creations, but authentic papers confirm. A care log mentions unaccounted marks on limbs previously obscured. This forms a sequence, not suspicion. Proceed as we link elements to those with reasons. The influential entries in his records fearful of disclosures. Reason is central to any alternative explanation, and the contact directory, broadened in 2026 disclosures to over 300 prominent entries, illustrates potential threats from worldwide figures eager to prevent statements. Certain leaders feature repeatedly in travel manifests, rejecting improprieties but evading specifics on visits. Royals' resolutions imply concerns. Communications display boasts about indiscretions. But 2026 materials uncover more. Recorded discussions were hints of safeguard materials, recordings of sensitive interactions stored securely. Envision, officials, executives, even monarchs documented. A disclosed note from counsel cautions, individual possesses influence over disclosure might disrupt structures. Families suggest cooperation was imminent, involving identifications for leniency. Instead, conclusion, analyses term it protections for elites. Fresh documents expose links to agencies. international ties through associates, implying operational setups. An odd connection. Speculations on prior high-profile events shielded networks, noted in materials as hypothetical data. Locally, oversight officials manage the site. Familial connections to employment history. Convenient? Descriptions called it confluence of errors. But 2026 reviews show directives to pause monitoring. Reevaluations and documents propose external application. Baden notes impressions align with contact, not material. Family statements. Additional review confirms alternative. Structures don't respond that way voluntarily. Compelling. A resident statement mentions overhearing "complete it swiftly" from unseen areas. Digital fabrications spread online. Simulated images of survival. But genuine proof? That colored appearance, now assessed as potential camouflage. Outlets refute ongoing existence ideas, but support alternative suspicions. As networks note, materials generated varied interpretations, but essence, knowledge was extensive. Continue as we review families' efforts and how 2026 analyses alter perspectives. Introducing the Family Advocate, whose 2026 contributions, including anticipated further examinations, are dismantling the voluntary narrative element by element. In popular online content, declarations affirm this will demonstrate alternative, pointing to overlooked variances from 2019. Recent agency files support thorough after-assessments displaying multiple internal signs, mismatched to minimal impact methods. Specific structural features. Baden reaffirms high likelihood of external. Family distributed visuals through channels, showing features without peripheral indicators, countering proposed techniques. 2026 scholarly works agree, substance levels minimal for facilitation, no basis for simplicity. Legal actions sought complete visuals. Partial disclosures feature that colored irregularity. Enhanced analysis implies outline carrying supplies, perhaps concealment. Agency reports admit record elimination. Materials cycled, entries modified. Theory: compensation for staff. Entry by outsider. Observer and documents. Professional noted recent impressions on areas concealed until now. Expansions. Associated financial handler's suspicious end post-detention. As media details, the incident review uncovers communications predating, outlining preparations. Advocacy spurred official sessions, demands for recategorization. Online amplifications. Survival? Dismissed, but alternatives gain momentum. Coverage includes unusual speculations, but realities endure. Premature announcement irregularity indicates prior awareness. This moves beyond margins. Reports signal declining confidence. Maintain focus as we assess influential repercussions and why 2026 releases spark information conflicts. The 2026 material surge hasn't merely revived prior ideas. It sparked a wave of misleading content where fabricated elements intersect with solid data, creating confusion for effect. Publications caution: speculations thrive amid evidence, referencing generated visuals of continued presence, verified as inventions. Yet, authentic highlights surface, details on digital reactions to agency materials, prompting inquiries about the conclusion. Circulating images? Contrived. But that August 9th statement? Verified. Predated discovery. System anomaly, as termed online. Materials reveal concerns from circles. Communications from groups seeking updates. Obscured entries in directories, including unrelated figures. morphed into extreme claims, refuted. Analyses. Openness breeds ambiguity. Compelling. Visual guides through volumes, emphasizing colored form as possible unauthorized. Outlets dismiss persisting, but confirm external indicators. Platform segments from specialists. Suggests alternative. Misinformation efforts. External amplifiers, per data in materials. But foundation. Networks revealed. Implicit agreements as described, with exceptions for prominent. Family counters inventions, emphasizing analyses. As inquiries pose, new proceedings? Improbable, but sentiment rises. Proceed to connect reasons to participants, revealing why quiet was essential. Integrating elements, the reasons for potential intervention arise from extensive elite connections so broad, statements could destabilize establishments. And 2026 materials expose it. Travel records mention innovators on collaborations, but communications suggest further, guidance on delicate issues. Public figures' endorsements pre-detention, respected individual. Denials falter with location visuals. Resolutions documents. Key incentive, protections. Storage devices obtained but misplaced per agency notes. 2026 inclusions list contents, labeled key interactions. Beneficiaries, all connected. Oversight, compromised. Visual irregularities indicate expertise. Colored form unmatched to records, implying specialized operation, per ideas and materials linking to international elements. Baden's claim, contact, not item. Details, absence of positioning aids. Observer, disturbances, then calm. Compilations, appearance, professional indicating restriction. Families review hints at traces, external. This safeguards the system. Operations undisturbed. As noted, effects continue with releases. Remain for summary. Implications now. Returning to overview, the 2026 data, from structural signs to removed records, depicts an alternative scenario too clear to overlook, urging accountability in structured environments. Official account? Undermined by specialist verdicts, advocacy, and agency anomalies. Colored entrant, early reference, eliminated data, concealment indicators. Protections for figures revealed, leaders, royals, innovators preserved. Materials affirm operational setups, but who directed? Agencies? Ideas proliferate, but data calls for re-evaluation. Opinions, majority question voluntary. Advocacy's commitment, evidence forthcoming. Fabrications divert, but reality holds. Ultimately, the conclusion wasn't voluntary. It was suppression. 2026 materials dismantle the intrigue, encouraging scrutiny of influence. If this video helped you, make sure to like it. It really supports the channel. Subscribe for more videos like this, and share it with someone who'd benefit. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.